Welcome to Straight Outta Savannah. I am super excited. My guest, Pam Maynard, is here, and she's going to share what she does and how she can help you. So, Pam, take it away.
Thank you, Tammy. I'm Dr. Pamela Maynard, and through science-backed mindfulness, exercises, and contemplative practice, and what I like to call sacred horse medicine, I help the emotionally exhausted midlife woman regulate her nervous system, navigate these crazy life transitions, and really reconnect to their purpose of what I like to call our sacred medicine. I feel like I work in this inner section of not just midlife crisis, I like to call it a midlife awakening, but really around the sacred medicine and stepping into our true calling. And even though, I have all of the degrees and the certifications, I really believe that my greatest teachers have been the horses and really teach us how to step into our own intuitive rhythm. And I always say that midlife isn't a crisis to be survived, it is a rhythm to be mastered.
That is so powerful because that is exactly how I feel. For me, I feel like every decade I reinvent myself. And I didn't even see that for years until maybe a couple of years ago. I looked back and said, and for me, it starts with hair. So, like, if you look at different videos and stuff over the time, you'll see all kinds of different hair because it's something about the hair that brings the shift for me. Like when I decided to cut all of my hair off, I started at 18. I had hair down my back. And I said, I'm tired. I need a break and I need something different. And I cut my hair off. I thought my daddy was going to
Did you do it yourself? Like, did you?
no, no. I'm not that brave.
Okay.
I went to somebody and had them, trim it up. It looked good, but my dad was like, "Oh my God, where's all your hair?" And I thought, but every decade. So now here we are at midlife and it's time to shift again. You know what I'm saying? And so I really feel like we should talk about that shift. As you begin, you're doing your horse thing, and then you decide that, or you hear, or you see that it's time to talk about this and relate it to that. Because I believe, that they're supposed to be integrated.
Yeah, and let me back up a little bit and I just want to share my story real quick. So I ended up coming back to the family farm and helping my dad because he was terminally ill. So we never know how long it takes somebody to leave the planet. For 7 years, we did all the doctor's appointments and then the at home hospice. The day of his funeral, I had to put my soulmate horse down. And this particular horse I'd had literally since she was conceived. And I feel like I have a special bond with all my horses, but there's a deeper bond with one that you're there when she's born and you do all the first with. And she had gone through a health crisis. So we had spent a lot of time in that space of healing her and caring for her in ways that I probably had never cared for an animal before. And I grew up on a farm, so caretaking and horse keeping and all that stuff was just second nature to me. And so to lose her on that day, it's like we know as spiritual people, there's no coincidences, right? And so it's like, what is the message through all of this? And it really started me down this journey of the sacred horse medicine. And it's not just, a lot of people think it's equine assisted work like equine-assisted psychotherapy or equine-assisted leadership, and it's really more about the energy these horses, hold. It's the metaphor of the horse and what they stand for and what we can learn from them, and you don't have to have a horse or be around horses to learn from the sacred horse medicine, and I always say, besides what little girl didn't want a pony or a unicorn?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So, I just feel like these beautiful, amazing animals that have these messages for us. And my Substack is called Sage Season. And for me, the sage is the horse, right? what is the stage for you, Tammy? You know, we all can have our own different stage in our life.
For me, it would be spirit because, and I'm going to say this, and I know that sometimes it's controversial, but I would say Jesus because for me, I have had a relationship with Jesus since I was a child that I know of. And so for me, that would be because I really, and even before I knew that I was having these conversations, it felt good to me, and that's something that I know that so many people, they don't have that space where they can connect with the sage medicine. And I appreciate the horse medicine because I've actually read a little bit about it. And I have another friend, she does horse Reiki or something like that. And so I thought it was so interesting, because I know the gentleness of those beings.
Well, and I love that, you are all about intuition and teach intuition and live intuition and let intuition guide you. And I know that, like, so when my mare had her health crisis, the vet and everybody told me that I needed to put her down, that she needed to be euthanized. And when I looked in her big brown eyes and she was still eating treats out of my hand, I just knew, I'm like, she's not ready to leave the planet, right? And so there was just something in me, and it wasn't probably logical, but it was just something deeper that said no. And I really feel like that was the first time where I really consciously chose intuition over authority. And such
Yeah.
lesson we can learn from the horses, because people think because they're large animals and they're strong and powerful and like we're supposed to manhandle them. But that's not how horses work. Horses work by partnering with them and bonding with them and having a relationship with them. And there's so much we can learn by their herd dynamics and how we could be better people in our herd of humans, right? And to start living more intuitively.
Yeah.
I used to work with body workers, and I'd always say to them, I'd say, "Are you a body worker or are you a healer?" And they had a hard time stepping over that threshold because they stuck up in being a practitioner and in modality instead of letting intuition and the horse guide them. But when we let the horse guide us, and it deepens that intuition, at least for me. But we have to remember the horses are our mirrors, right? We're really just needing to look at ourselves, right? And that's how we deepen that intuition. And it has changed over the decades. And it's kind of interesting to me that I have a friend that recently was like, called herself midlife. And I'm like, sweetie, you're 38. You're
Right.
midlife. And she's like, no, I am. And I still don't like the word. I never thought of myself as midlife, even in my 40s, right? But now that I'm in my 50s, things have shifted even more.
Yes.
And so learning to tap into that something deeper, right? And saying no, which is what I call the sacred no. And the horses demonstrate that in their herd. And they're not, like, they don't like go after another herd mate and want to just beat the crap out of them, right? It's like, no, I don't want to play right now. No, that doesn't work for me. And there's a respect and there's a boundary. And the sacred no has been something I've been working on for the last decade. But now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like, I'm not working on it anymore. I have embodied that sacred no.
Yes. I actually did a video. I did a whole series on people pleasing.
Mm.
And in that series, I did a video on the sacred yes. So you said that I was like, because this is the space. Because the thing is as women especially, we are conditioned to say yes all the time.
Mhm.
Even when we mean no, we're conditioned. It's just, and so we have to decondition that. And it to me is so much so with this midlife reinvention thing. It's like, okay. And I think a part of it is discovering who you are at your core without having these different labels and roles and all these things. You just discover where it is that you are, what you want needed, and how are you going to move to get it. And at this point, so many women, we've been conditioned to just do, and don't think about ourselves. Think about everybody else. But we're here at this space because you and I are in our 50s. We're here at this space. I'm knocking on 60's door. So we're here at this space where we're like, okay, who do I want to be? And you can be it.
Absolutely. Like, right. Most of us, we've overridden that inner knowing, that inner intelligence of ours all these years because of our conditioning and culture and everything. And right, we've been caretakers to our children and now to our elderly parents. We've been performers, all high achievers. They've done great things in their corporate careers, they've had their businesses, they've started nonprofits, right? And they're always the responsible ones. But I don't like to call it reinventing. I'm still me. I'm reclaiming myself. I'm coming home to myself. And that's the whole beautiful thing about what horse medicine can illustrate for us, right? Is it's not about performance. Like it's about becoming congruent, becoming regulated again, not living in that go, 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 go. A horse in the wild does not just run, 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 run. They stop, they pause, they be in the present moment. So like I always tell my body workers, you have to be in such a high vibration to do your work because a sick horse is vibrating at a higher frequency than a healthy human because they are always just living in that different frequency and in that 5D realm. They're always in the present. They're not thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to pay the credit card bills this month? Oh my God, the grocery prices keep going up. They're not stressing about that stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. There are instances where you have horses that are not living in the best of circumstances. They've been traumatized. They carry weight just like humans can. But on a whole, they're not living in that stressed out state all the time. And yes, horses are prey animals, right? They have the flight, fight, or freeze, just like we do in our nervous system. But when they flight, they fly till they know they're safe. They self-regulate and they come back to that present moment. And we don't learn how to do that because we have to do this now. We have to do that now. And oh, you're not allowed to take time for yourself. And I don't know about you, Tammy, but my mother never taught me about self-care or self-regulation,
I've meant that.
being allowed to take time for yourself. Like, never.
Self? What does that mean? No.
Right?
People told you were selfish if you took time for yourself.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like, no, no, no. And now I really do try to teach the younger ones. You know, I seem to attract a lot of young ladies and I speak to them and I teach them that, you know, you need to take time for yourself. Yes, I know you have these kids and yes, you have to take care of them, but you have to squirrel away some time for yourself. Now, don't wait until after the kids grow up. You know, now is the time.
Yeah.
Teach your body how to self-regulate. You
But
know,
nobody taught them that. We don't learn it in school. We don't learn it from society. We don't learn it from our parents.
I think on a level they want us that way. I think that, you know, because it's like if they can keep you at this space where you're never fucking regulated, then you'll just stay there. You won't grow. You won't change. You won't shift. And as women, we do that naturally. Like we shift and we grow and we change naturally. Because you think about women, especially think about the old days. You got women that got married at 14. They started having kids at 15 or maybe 14.
Right.
And that's all they did. And so from 14 years old, they'd been somebody's wife. And 14, 15 years old, they'd been somebody's mother. Especially because they had so many kids. They didn't know what world they were. Had no idea. And so this work to me, I think is phenomenal because we need to teach it. Women need to be able to regulate themselves. they need to know how to do that. And they need to know that it's okay to do shit for yourself, to decide, hey, this is for me. This is not for my husband. It's not for my kids. It's not for my wife. This is for me. It's what I enjoy doing. And I know that with the horse medicine, I believe that's something that you definitely could teach women.